Hello, this is Carlos, lead developer for Interactive GeoMaps WordPress plugin, and in this video we're going to do a quick overview of the overlay maps feature. Basically, the overlay feature allows you to display more than one map together. And this allows you to do a few different things. The most common being displaying multiple countries in the same map divided by regions, like in this example of the US and Canada, both of them divided by regions. Another thing you can do is display a country divided by regions in a world map or in a continent map or something like that. Another more complex thing it will allow you to do is to display a live filter. Basically, we have 4 maps here. A base map, which is actually empty, and then we have 3 different maps displaying: a map with the blue markers, the map with the orange markers, and the map with the green markers. And there's an empty map that basically overlays all the other maps to generate this effect. And this is very similar. It's again 4 maps displaying an empty map and 3 other maps to display a legend with that you can click on it, each one with a different color, to achieve this effect. And finally, a very popular feature is the Drilldown feature. So here we have actually 2 maps, the world map and the US map. But clicking on the US will reveal the US divided by states. So this is called the Drilldown, and we use the overlay feature to achieve this. So in the backhand, I'm going to start with this example, how you can create, how you can display 2 countries divided by regions in the same map. So I'm going to come back here. These are all the maps I created. And for example, I already have here a map of Brazil. And I'm going to create a map for Bolivia. Okay, so I'm going to color some regions. I'm going to add a couple of markers. Also quickly change the color of the markers. Okay, just going to save it. And now, if I want to display Bolivia together with Brazil, I can do it directly in one of them. In the Bolivia map or the Brazil map, I can go to the overlay and select Brazil. So what I'm saying here is, together with this map, show us the Brazil map I created previously. I'm going to update, and notice only the regions are displaying, and this is because of this feature, this option, allow empty regions. Since the other regions for Brazil don't have data, they might not display. But if I enable this, okay, so this is Bolivia and this is Brazil. And we are actually seeing 2 different countries here on the same map. So that's how you achieve this effect. Actually, if we could go back here to the maps, and here Canada plus US, where actually I have the Canada map displaying and I have the US map selected as an overlay. You could also have an empty map and have 2 overlays, but this way it works better. Okay, going to the next feature, display a country divided by regions in a world map. Okay, so I'm going to create a new world map. I can maybe add, actually I'm going to add Bolivia. I'm not going to add now for this, nothing for this example. In the overlay, I'm going to select Bolivia, Brazil, and the US, and maybe even Canada. Oh no, okay, yeah, I can select it here. And now all the data from these maps I selected are displaying here. And again, the same thing. Notice that the divisions are not displaying. If you needed them to display, you enable the allow empty regions. and you see the US, the markers, and that's how you achieve this effect. The live filter. So the live filter, as I said before, it's actually 4 maps that we're seeing here. It's an empty US map. I'm gonna actually create a new map. Live filter. And the general details, I would select the US. I'm gonna go with the recommended one. Change to the Albers so it looks nicer. Okay. And then I'm not going to add any information to this. I have the information on other maps I created. I'm coming here to the overlay maps and select the different maps with the three sets of data, each of them having markers in different colors. So if I do this, it's going to display them all. And since it doesn't have, we don't need the regions, so allow empty regions can be off. And what we need is the external live filter. I'm going to enable this. The type, there's the menu, drop down, or the menu and the drop down on mobile. Choose the position above or below. All markers, just so you see it in effect. Display by default. Actually, display by default. So we can display one of the maps. So the first one by default, I'm going to save it. It's going to only show the green one because we selected here. But if you want to select all by default, you would select the map you just created, so the live filter. Yeah, there's these other options that you can explore. But after we update it, the maps might not display because we're displaying the live filter, which is empty, the base map. But if we see it in action, we have created, oh, notice this, that the regions are not displaying. And I'm going to show you some common mistakes. So you might think, okay, I'm going to allow empty regions. Update. So, but what's going to happen is all 3 maps are going to include their empty regions. So they're the regions for this map are actually covering the other markers. So in this case, we don't want the empty regions to be included, and instead we want to enable the keep base map option. So when we come here, we have all markers, and when we navigate to the others, the base map is still there, which is the empty US map. So that's how you create the live filter example. The next one, the legend, is very similar, but instead of, I'm going to close this tab, instead of using the external live filter, in the legend tab, still we have to include the maps as an overlay, and in the legend tab, you're going to use the auto label. And the clickable, you can choose the effect. I'm going to choose to select toggle visibility. I'm going to show it on the bottom center, and let's see it in action. Okay, so now when we click blue, orange, it toggles the visibility. So in this color and this title, we control that. So on the other maps, so we have here the US map markers 3 map with the blue markers. On the markers tab, there's an option for the legend, showing legend. Yes, I want to show it, and the title is going to be blue. If I change this here, blue M, and I go back to the map where I enabled it, now it's blue M. So this is controlled on the individual map. On the base map, we only control if we show the auto legend or not. Okay, so now the next is the drill down feature. The drill down, I'm going to open the map that I already created. So okay, world map plus the US drill down. So here what I did, so there's a world map. I actually added some regions, And on the overlay maps, I selected the US map and the Brazil map. So the Brazil, when I click Brazil, it also will display the Brazil map. So remember, we created the Bolivia map. We can also include it. I'm gonna update. And although it's not included because I didn't include it here in the list of active, if I click Bolivia, it's still gonna show it. If you want to make it clear to your users that it's clickable, you add it so it has some color also. So, and to achieve this, again in the overlay maps, I selected the maps I wanted to include with the allow empty regions on and the drill down on click option enabled. If I disable this, they're just going to show all together. If I enable, it's going to hide the other maps and only display when the region is clicked. So here, China is enabled because I added here, but there's no overlay map of China. So when I click it, nothing happens. The same for Australia. If I wanted to drill down to China, I had to create a map of China and then come here and overlay it. So that's mostly it. I didn't go into much detail, but hopefully this will help you understand how the overlay feature works and what you can achieve with it. Cheers.